we talk about ensuring that we have linguistically and culturally competent Latino workforce to work with the Latino community, which is so needed. It translates into making sure that the schools of social work are successfully recruiting, teaching, and graduating Latino social workers. And that's, for many, many years, been a very big challenge. And one of our panel members just a few minutes ago made a comment that he didn't feel that the schools of social work were doing a very good job. I'll use that as a segue into introducing this panel. First, I want to say that one of the providing reasons behind the formation of the Latino Social Work Task Force was to bring together members of the social work profession, both Latino and non-Latino, organizational leaders, and to bring together into the task force our educational leaders, especially the deans of the schools of social work. And I have to say that the task force has been very successful in being able to create what we, I think, the best call a collaboration between agency leaders, social workers, and the deans and the schools of social work. Whatever the situation has been historically in terms of the numbers of Latino students, we have seen an increase over the last number of years. Whether the task force claims some credit for that or not, I think is something we can find out more about. But I want to just commend the deans who are our panelists today for the commitment that they have made and the work that they've been doing at their institutions. So let me see who's here. We have the program in order that we're going to follow somewhat closely, but I did have one request in terms of going first because of another commitment. I'm sure everybody's very busy. But let me just share with you that the Planning Committee has asked Dean, former recent Dean, Sheldon Gelman, who stepped down after being the longest-serving Dean of the United States at the Wordsworth School of Social Work. We asked him to focus his comments somewhat or primarily on licensing and the concerns and the challenges that licensing has created, especially for social workers, as English as a second language is very important. We have with us Dean Jacqueline Mondros from the Silverman School of Social Work at Hunter College, which has just recently moved to East Harlem. And we've asked her to share with us her leadership in integrating the school into the community. And we also have Dr. Norma Phillips, who's the director of the social work program at Lehman College in the Bronx, to talk about field work and challenges that she's experienced as an educator, with probably the largest percentage of Latinos in a program is at Lehman. Dean Andrew Safer, the Dean at Delphi University, which is out in Garden City, but also has a significant program in New York City, to talk about supports as well as the work that his school has been doing with Latino immigrants in Long Island. And Dean Jeanette Takamura, the Dean at Columbia University School of Social Work, is with us. And we've asked Dean Takamura to talk about a national and global perspective. And I understand that you have some concerns about your voice right now, so we'll see how that goes. And we'll do whatever is necessary to accommodate you. And Dean Peter Vaughn, who welcomed us this morning, the head of the Fordham University Graduate School of Social Service, we have asked to talk about curriculum and faculty and what are the challenges and issues related to that in terms of providing education. And last but certainly not least, Dean Lynn Videca, the Dean at the NYU Silver School of Social Work, to talk about social justice and organizational change issues. So we're going to follow the order of how it's listed here with one exception. Dean Saker has asked if he can go first. We're going to honor that, and then we're going to move through each presentation.
Well, I'm a man of a certain age who forgot his glasses.
Okay, good. Wherever you want to be.
I'm still in denial about my age. I forgot my glasses. And it's kind of easier for me to see at a distance without glasses. So thank you, and I'm excited to be here today. What I was asked to speak about was supports for Latino MSW students that promote successful engagement and retention. And I'll be talking about the Adelphi experience as an exemplar. So this is not a commercial for Adelphi. This is really more about what we've done, what lessons we've learned along the way, what has worked and what has not. We do not claim, let me make the caveat also, that we're not experts in this area, but we really are committed to providing a more respectful and responsive learning context to all students, and also our students, Latino students and other students of color. For those of you who remember Adelphi, who've been around a long time ago, many years before I became dean, Adelphi was known as a school of cashmere and pearls, and that's no longer the case. So let me talk a little bit about demographics. A total of around 48% of our MSW students are students of color right now, with 15% of Latino origin, which is very, very different. The average age of our students is 35, and about 65% are attending school part-time. So a significant number of these students can be described as what I would say non-traditional or written about in the literature, in that they're older, they're employed, and many of them have competing responsibilities. Many of them are also working in human services. They're coming back to school for their professionalization, and many will soon or now be working as supervisors and middle managers in their agencies. At our school, we realized it was important for us to make changes to respond effectively to meet the needs of students from different racial and economic backgrounds and experiences, and we took this seriously. Our commitment to become culturally responsive, and I must say in the beginning that it's always a state of becoming. No one really becomes culturally competent. I guess we're trying to be more culturally sensitive. To increase our awareness of the experience of some students at the school who have told us in lots of different ways that their experience has been defined in the past by marginalization and conflict. At faculty meetings, in discussions, we wondered whether there was something that we might be meta-communicating